Welcome to the podcast, where we teach you how to create marketing that pops. Get ready for refreshing conversations with industry experts, trendsetters, and creative minds that'll leave you bubbling with inspiration. Get ready to turn up the volume on your business. Let's get popping. Here we are again, marketing that pops.
Yay, marketing that pops.
Yeah, and today we are going to be talking about a topic that everyone always asks us. When people come and want to work with us, they're always like, how do I align my sales and marketing? It's like...
Yes, and that's a problem, and we have to make sure that we're aligned because it causes lots of problems for the sales department, and here the marketing's pushing out all of this really cool information, but yet the sales team is like, what? We did what? How come you didn't tell me? So it can be frustrating on both sides.
Yeah. I mean, most of the people that we work with are the marketing directors, and those are, like, usually the pain points of, like, the salespeople just don't understand what I'm trying to do. It's like...
Yeah, or they get, like, a lead, and then the salesperson is like, what is this? Like, what are we giving away? We're, like, doing... What kind of offer is this? So they just have to be talking.
Yeah. So we're going to get into it. I have kind of like a step-by-step guide for you guys of how you can align your sales and marketing. And so we're going to talk through these different things and then kind of give you guys a takeaway of some things that you can implement like right away to avoid having that pain point because, as we know, it's definitely hard. So the first thing that you have to do is understand the disconnect. Like, where is it that the sales and marketing are just like, they're not connecting? Like, what is that pain point? So often, because things are not communicated, like across teams, like things just get left in the wind. And it could be from both perspectives. Like from sales, it's like they just get stuck in their routine of like, this is my sales pitch. This is what I always say. This is what I've always done. And it can be hard kind of like really pushing them to change, honestly, to want to do something different. Mm-hmm. So definitely understand where the disconnect is. And there might be points where the marketing team can like really give the sales team like a layup in the sense of like Michelle was saying, like you might be running like a really cool offer and, it's an easy win for the sales department.
Mm-hmm. And, marketing is working really hard at coming up with this really creative campaign and they're excited about it. Now we're getting all of these leads and we hand it off and we're just hoping that, one, we're responding quickly. Yes. We're following up. And also, marketing needs feedback. Like, was that a qualified lead? What happened with that? Mm-hmm. Are we going to close this? Like, what? If it's not a qualified lead, we want to know why. And obviously, we want to make sure that we change up the verbiage and things like that just to make sure that we are providing the right type of leads that's going to make the sales team happy. Mm-hmm. The sales team should love marketing.
They really should.
Because we're handing them these cool leads and we're helping them. So, but sometimes I think there is like, one, they don't know exactly what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And then also it's just when they do get a crappy lead, all these leads are that, and it's just like, well, why? Like, tell me, what was the problem with it? And like, how can we fix this? And so it's just really important that also like we're finding out what are the questions people are asking when the sales team is talking with them? What are the problems that they're having? Because whatever that problem is, we want to solve it in our marketing.
Yes.
copy.
Absolutely. So the next thing that you need to do, which we're kind of touching on that, is define the roles and responsibilities. So, like we're saying, like the communication needs to be there, and you need to talk and figure out what those pain points are. But defining the roles, like letting the sales department know, like this is what I do. This is these are all the things that kind of go into my work. I think sometimes when the sales team doesn't understand like all of the different efforts that you have to do that go into marketing, it just, it kind of just trickles down. So also like it could help with job security in a sense, because it's like when people understand all the work that you're putting in, they're only gonna like back you up. So often when things are going down, the first thing to go is always marketing.
Mm-hmm.
If you have your sales department backing you, and the CEO is like, we got to make a cut, the sales team could be like, no, we need them. We need to keep doing these things, and here's why. They're the ones that are bringing in the leads.
Right. Yeah.
So yes, define the roles and responsibilities. Let them know all the work that you're doing. Give yourself a pat on the back.
I think that we also, like, marketing needs to understand the sales process.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what does that look like, so that we also, marketing knows how do we like fit in there, because really, like, we want to know from the time that person clicks on the ad or the link or the email,
Mm-hmm.
and then till we close, because we want to track that ROI.
Of course. It's so funny because every time we do these podcasts, I'm like write this stuff down, and then you always like lead right into what I'm about to say. I'm like, that's my next point.
Oh, look at that!
Yes.
We're reading each other's minds.
Yes, we are. The next thing that you need to do is create a unified message. So like Michelle was saying, understanding the sales perspective as well is also important. And what you can do with that when you create that unified message is you can understand like what the sales team is doing. You're able to see maybe where there's holes in it, and vice versa. Same thing for the sales department. That's really not the right thing that we should be saying, because these are the type of clients that we are attracting, or trying to attract, I guess I should say. And sales is the people that are talking directly to these potential clients, these customers. So they know like the issues that they're facing and how your service or product is going to be the solution for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the other part is that the sales team wants to be salesy.
Yes.
In the copy. And it's like a constant struggle, like especially with blogs. So like if they're like, we're not pitching our product enough, well, that's not the purpose of the blog. We're trying to educate, and then obviously for the source from that education, then they're going to reach out to you, but you don't always have to be so salesy.
Yeah, and figuring out like just different ways that you can say things, like we were saying, like sometimes salespeople or sales departments, they can just get into a rut. It just can be stale, and it's like, how can we spice this up a little bit so that people are choosing us over our competition. So we've mentioned this a few times, but communication, that is literally the cornerstone of aligning sales and marketing. You guys have to talk, because the moment you stop talking and stop having that communication, that is where that divide is gonna just widen right back up.
Mm-hmm. And I always recommend like having a monthly, like for the sales meetings, maybe the marketing manager can attend like once a month or something, and just update them and let them know like, hey, here's how many leads I'm tracking. Where are we at with these leads? Here's the next campaigns that we're gonna do. Do you guys have any feedback? Show them some mock-ups, things like that, because I think that's gonna spur them to be like, oh, like that's really cool. Like we should do this,
Right.
you know, because it will just, it's really great to have like the feedback from the sales team.
Mm-hmm. And one other thing that we, obviously this coincides with communication, but just understanding the sales journey and like the buyer's journey. This is how our full sales process goes. Like if the marketing doesn't understand that, this is how the sales department is getting their leads, this is how often we're following up. That's a problem right there. There, if that's happening, because what marketing can always do is, as marketers, we have so many tools. We can set up automations. We can set up little tasks for the sales department to do, that stuff that they probably don't even know about, that could make their lives easier.
I think like sometimes the salespeople are resistant to that because they, one, if they have past due tasks, they don't like that. And because they're held accountable.
Mhm.
And the other piece is that sometimes they want it to seem like it's not automated, that it's from them. I had this conversation with them about their son's soccer game or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you just have to find like this fine line of like what things are automated and what are not. But the whole point of the automation is to make their job easier.
Mm-hmm.
And because as they're driving down the road, they're like, oh shoot, I was supposed to follow up with that person. And if you already have those automations going out that are happening, then it's a lot less pressure on the sales team.
Mm-hmm. Did
I jump into your next section?
Kind of, but we've mentioned all of these things. The next thing that you want to do is, after you've had all these great conversations and your team is starting to become one and all this good stuff, the thing that you really need to do is hone in and like establish goals. Like when everybody's in the room, everybody knows like this is our goal for the year, this is our goal for Q1, Q2, whatever those things might be. Like understanding and establishing goals that everybody is on board with and that they think are realistic goals, that just helps everybody kind of keep moving forward with those things in mind.
Mm-hmm. And really, it's just, it makes it a win for everybody, because if you can establish those goals together versus, okay, I'm marketing and I think we should increase the traffic by this, then, but they have a whole nother idea in their head, it's just, we want to make sure that we're on the same page and that this seems like a fair goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. While you're doing, you can let your team know, like, okay, so here's our goals, here's how we're going to track these goals moving forward. And then every time you have those meetings, whether it's monthly or, quarterly, whatever they are, you can bring everybody back to, this is what we said our goal was, here's how we're hitting it, here's where we're benchmarking at, all those different things. And you can say, oh, well, this was a great campaign, well, let's keep going with it. What we're doing is working. Or this isn't working, what do we need to change? Is it the pitch? Is it that things are falling through the cracks because after marketing's done this great job, maybe the handoff isn't the right, they're not seeing the leads or something like that. You can figure out what those breakdowns are. Okay, all of those things are ways that you can align sales marketing. But how is that going to impact your business? Let's talk about it. It's going to impact your revenue, just hands down. I've looked at some studies and a couple of things, so I'm going to share those with you guys. A study that was done by Aberdeen Group said that companies who had a strong alignment were able to achieve a 20% growth in annual revenue. I mean, what CEO doesn't want that?
Yeah.
And ones with a poor alignment saw a decrease of 4%. So,
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
No, not good at all. So you want to make sure that you guys are all in. So it can also lead in conversion rates. HubSpot reported that aligned sales and marketing teams see an average of 32% of annual revenue growth compared to less aligned teams, which saw a 7% decline. So same things we're seeing. And then also Salesforce reported that 79% of marketing leads never convert into sales. Proper alignment ensures a smoother transition of leads through the sales funnel. So basically, all that's saying is money's being left on the table because, whether there's no communication or the transfer is not going properly, 79% is a lot.
Mm-hmm. And I think another problem is that if they're not documenting their conversations and Salesforce or whatever program that you're using to monitor that, then that becomes a problem. Because, say, what if somebody gets let go? I mean, you want to be able to know, like, okay, was this person at with these leads? Was it documented? We don't know how to get a hold of this person, but we know that was a qualified deal. It's really important, and it's really hard to get salespeople to do that because they like to be on the road, they are on the phone, they don't want to be putting all that information in, but it's really great information for marketing because if we can look at, okay, what were they saying, what was the problems, and then we can solve that through our copy.
Yes. Let's move on to our debunked myth. So, Michelle.
Uh-oh. I'm scared.
Basically, people are saying that it only takes one touch point in order to convert. I don't know why they think that, but what are your thoughts on that, Michelle?
Well, it takes much more than one. I would say it takes 7 times for somebody to see that same messaging before it's going to convert. So whether it's a different type of marketing tactic, if it's the same marketing tactic, it doesn't matter. That's why we always tell people you can't just do one marketing tactic. Like, you need to do a variety because there's a variety of people out there that respond differently to different things. So definitely consistency helps with this, by continually being on social and doing emails and all of the different variety of marketing things that we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many times that people have said oh, I remember you guys did this campaign, and when they start describing it, we're like, oh, that was it's 2 years ago. And it just takes that amount of time sometimes to be reminded of you, and it only kind of just further tells your brand story of that messaging and consistency. And sometimes it's yeah, I've been watching you guys and I don't know why I didn't call you, but it just
has to be like that. Something happened where they're frustrated and they're like, okay, I'm just gonna call them. But you're right, we've had events that we went to that we might not get, we follow up right after because they're like, I want to work with you, oh my gosh, I need you, blah blah blah. And so we follow up and then nothing, we can't get a hold of them, we can't. And then 9 months later they finally reply to our email yeah, can we get a meeting? It's where you been all my life?
Yeah. Seriously. It's probably the same thing with relationships. How many touch points does it take to make something convert?
How many dates does it take?
Yes,
to find the right one.
Yeah, how many frogs do I have to kiss? All of that. So yeah, no, it definitely takes more than one. So you need to be consistent, do different things, and keep trying. That's the best thing about marketing is that you get to be creative. And we understand that with every business, obviously there's constraints and things like that, but finding a way to get your message across creatively and being able to change up your messaging, that just is going to help you stand out amongst, your competitors, your peers, whatever that might be. Just keep trying. As always, we'd love to hear from you guys. Leave us a comment. give us 5 stars. People don't ask for 5 stars. We're asking for them.
5 stars.
5 stars. And then never miss an episode. And we'll be here waiting for you guys.
Excited to talk with you.
Thanks for listening with us today. Stay tuned for the latest in web marketing and design from ThrivePop. Want to be a pop star? Head over to thrivepop.com/podcast to join our mailing list for episode notifications, sneak peeks, listener feedback, and more.